Hope you're having a good day today. I appreciate you joining me once again. We're going to be thinking about a somber account in Scripture. It's the account of Korah and the rebellion that he tries to lead against Moses. Today's hymn is There's a Great Day Coming.
There's a great day coming, a great day coming, there's a great day coming by and by, when the saints and the sinners shall be parted right and left. Are you ready for that day to come? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the judgment day? Are you ready? Are you ready for the judgment day?
I would like to look at the third verse as well. There's a sad day coming, a sad day coming. There's a sad day coming by and by, when the sinner shall hear his doom depart. I know ye not. Are you ready for that day to come? There's a great day coming. The account is found in Num.16 of Korah. Verse 1, Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, son of Levi, with Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. They rose up before Moses with some of the children of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, representatives of the congregation, men of renown. They gathered together against Moses and Aaron and said to them, You take too much upon yourselves, for all the congregation is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord? So when Moses heard it, he fell on his face, and he spoke to Korah and all his company, saying, Tomorrow morning the Lord will show who is his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near to him. Though that one whom he chooses, he will cause to come near to him. It's a sad account as we think about it. And as we consider our hymn, and we recognize that day that we look forward to, that we hasten the day, the New Testament says, it's going to be a sad day for so many, for the masses. Just as this day that Moses is speaking about, it was a sad day for Korah. And God knows, the point I want to make is that God knows how to separate the righteous from the unrighteous. Korah says, we're all holy. We're all holy. No, Korah's not. And those who are with him, they're not holy. And it's a sad thing, but the Lord knows how to separate things. Be mindful of the parable of the wheat and the tares. And when the angels say, do you want us to go out and gather up the righteous? And the Lord says, no, let them both grow together. But there will come a time when they will be separated. And so the Lord has that power. The Lord knows how to do that. And the Lord has discernment and discerns between the righteous and the unrighteous. It's a sad thing with Korah, because to see who he is, he's a Levite. Verse 1. A little further down in the account, Moses says to him, Is it a small thing? Hear now, you sons of Levi. Is it a small thing to you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the work of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to serve them, and that he has brought you near to himself, you and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you? Are you seeking the priesthood also? And I was thinking about that passage, and I was thinking about Mount Sinai. And do you remember at the base of Sinai, Moses takes the idol, crushes it to powder, spreads it on the water, and makes the people drink it. He then draws a line in the sand, and he says, to paraphrase it once again, and I know I've mentioned this recently, He says, whoever's on the Lord's side, come. And it's the sons of Levi who come. And I just want to make this point, that good men and good women can become defiled. That Korah may have been good and holy before this, but for whatever reason, he is now rebelling. And it happens, and that's why we need to take heed unto ourselves and unto the doctrine, unto the Lord, because good men can become bad men. And we need to take heed. Now, to read the account, there's something interesting about it. Read on. Verse 27, when everyone's warned to get away, this says, so they got away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. I want you to notice the language here. Dathan and Abiram, okay? Everyone got away from the tents of Korah. Everyone got away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives, their sons, and their little children. I want you to especially notice that part. Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tent. Moses says, by this you'll know the Lord has sent me to do all these things. Says, if these men die naturally like all men, or if they are visited by the common fate of all men, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates a new thing, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the pit, then you will understand that these men have rejected the Lord. Now it came to pass, as he finished speaking all these words, that the ground split apart under them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their households, and all the men with Korah with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from among the assembly. There's so many points to make that we can make about this, but I just want to make one more. Remember what that passage said. Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives, their sons, and their little children. Question is, who dies? The earth opened its mouth in verse 32, swallowed them up with their households, and all the men with Korah with all their goods. So all those with them went down alive into the pit. To read on a little bit, a fire comes out and consumes the 250 men who were offering incense. These were those who were supporting Korah and those with him. Okay, so they didn't go down to the pit, but a fire comes out and consumes them. A little later in the account, a little later in Numbers, this is actually referenced. And you're going to have to pardon me. I forgot to write it down. Let me quickly go through it. Actually, let me look up something. I believe it's chapter 25 or 26. Pardon me, I forgot to write it down. I'm just looking up something as quickly as I can. It's Numbers 26. I apologize. In chapter 26, this is the census of the new generation. This is some 38 years later. Okay? 38 years. So this is quite a long time. And in the midst of this census, lo and behold, look what it says. Verse 9. The sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. And these are the Dathan and Abiram, representatives of the congregation, who contended against Moses and Aaron in the company of Korah, when they contended against the Lord. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah, when that company died, when the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. Nevertheless, the children of Korah did not die. That's why I dwelt on that. Dathan and Abiram came out with their families, but it doesn't mention Korah's family. And Korah's children, apparently, not apparently, right here, Korah's children did not die. Why did Korah's children not die? The Lord knows how to separate the righteous from the unrighteous. And perhaps, or more than perhaps, the Lord knew that they were not going along with their father's rebellion. What's interesting about all that, and to just make this point, if we have family members, if we have parents, if we have grandparents who are not doing what's right, they may go down into the pit. Korah went down into the pit. That does not mean that we have to follow them. That does not mean we have to follow them. Mindful of the rich man who never wanted to see his brothers again because he was in torment. He did not want to see his family. He did not want his family to follow him. And I think surely as Korah went down into the earth, surely he did not want his children to follow him. And they did not. What adds another element to all this, when we look in the Psalms, and I really need to, when we look in the Psalms, see if I can remember it correctly. Not Psalm 22. Once again, apparently my pencil wasn't working. I didn't write things down like I was supposed to. Psalm 42. And before I turn over there, I'll go ahead and turn over there. Take up any more of your time. As the deer pants for the water. If you're familiar with this psalm, you're familiar with this hymn that we sing, you might notice who wrote it. A contemplation of the sons of Korah. Now, there's more than one Korah mentioned in Scripture, but most scholars, I believe, do think that this Korah is the Korah who led the rebellion. And what a wonderful thing it is, if that is the case, and regardless of whether it's the same Korah, we know Korah's children did not follow him, and that they are counted in the census. And if they're counted in the census, what that means is that they are the ones who get to go into the promised land. And I would like to think, and I would like to believe, that it's the sons of Korah who are going to write, as the psalm says, as the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs after you. The Lord knows how to separate the righteous from the unrighteous. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for joining us. Tune in tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise. I promise I'll write notes this